So why you tripping, get your right? Should've looked good in the moonlight. This pussy looking so bad, my.
M calls the cops when I wouldn't give any steak to her son. This happened maybe about a year ago, before the whole pandemic started. The weather had been nice, and I had just gotten some sirloin steaks. I haven't used my grill since the previous year, so I decided now would be a good time to try it out. For a few days, a group of construction workers had been busy working on a new house. It's built now, and it's pretty nice, way too expensive for me though. But it had been hot, and or rainy almost the entire duration of the build, and they were working their asses off the whole way through. So I decided to be nice and, after going over to the site, I yelled for them to come get some free food when they went on break. They were incredibly grateful. There were about 5 workers present, and 4 of them showed up for steak while the other passed. I had enough for everyone, including one for me, and we had a nice time chatting and getting to know one another. One was a veteran of the Marines back in the early 80s, he's friends with my grandma now. One was even related to the sheriff of our county. Anyway, amid the conversation, we heard an "excuse me" from the other side of the fence. My neighbor is this middle-aged woman with a super freaky son. He was this stoner influencer who loved to go on social media and post about his fetish for pot, and lived off his mother's paycheck every week while living on her couch. He was also in his mid-30s. There she was, on the other side of the fence. M entitled Mom. GAK grown-ass kid. CW1/2 construction worker 1 and 2. P police officer. M. My son was wondering if he can have some steak too. Me. Sorry, I don't have any left. M. But you have enough for all of them. Me. Yeah, I do. If he wanted some, he should have came earlier. M. No, you should have bought enough for everyone. CW1. Look, lady, this guy was nice enough to cook ste. M. Don't you have work you should be doing? CW2. We're on lunch, ma'am. She soon left, in a huff, but not before shouting that she was calling the police. I was the only one who heard that, I think, so I asked the relative of the sheriff if there was really anything the police would arrest me for. Of course, he said no, in his words, there are no laws against not sharing. I asked if we should tell her that, and he again said no, again in his words, it would be the most fun they've had on the job ever since they started building that damn house. Note, I actually did have an extra steak. I was saving it for later. Sure enough, after the construction workers went back to the site, who's to show up but a police officer? No lights, so it's a non-emergency, but he parked right outside M's house. Both her and GAK walked out and greet P. I walked out on my own lawn, and M pointed straight at me. I can't quite remember everything said here, but she was accusing me of discrimination because I left her 30-ish-year-old little boy out of our little steak party. I swear, it was like a kindergarten lunch. P obviously shook it off, warned her to not get the police involved in something so ridiculous again and started to leave, but I said, "Me? Wait. Officer, are you hungry?" P. Well, I haven't had lunch yet. Why? Me. May I offer you a steak? M. I knew it. You do have more steak. I demand you give it to my son, now. P. and I demand you both go back into your house before I arrest you for disturbing the peace and, possibly, harassment. B. But you can't do that. He can't do that. Tell him, GAK. GAK, I just wanted some steak. Officer, you have to do something about this. This man is performing a hate crime on my son. We both actually laughed. P said something along the lines of "have a good day," and I led him into my backyard. I had to give him the steak raw, since he had to go back on his patrol, but we had a good laugh. M and GAK finally went back into their house, and every time that I see them nowadays, she scowls at me, while GAK just pays no attention. I occasionally see that same officer from time to time, and every time I see him, he asks the same thing. Did you remember to share today?
Double cup, big come straight, hold me nuts. I don't want friends, I want Audis.